I love Kirby. I do. I played the Squeak Squad game. I've played. Oh, I love this one. It's the Kirby Superstar Ultra one. I've even played the one where you play as like a pink ball and you need to kind of draw a line to get across the world. I love Kirby, but after playing so many of the games over time, I've come to think this guy is kind of dumb. For example, in Squeak Squad, he tries to eat a strawberry shortcake even though there's something sweeter and even more delicious than that. And he goes and makes a crazy decision to go on a vast journey after this shortcake is stolen from him just to get that cake back. Now you may be wondering, what could possibly be more tantalizing, delicious, and scrum-diddly-umptious than strawberry shortcake? Let me explain. A Zen tale starts like this. Nanin, a Japanese master during the Meiji era, received a university professor who came to inquire about Zen. Nanin served tea. He poured his visitor's cup full and then kept on pouring. The professor watched the overflow until he no longer could restrain himself. "It is overfull. No more will go in." "Like this cup," Nanin said, "you are full of your own opinions and speculations. How can I show you Zen unless you first empty your cup?" Similarly, I can see how being full of my own likes and dislikes can bar me from experiencing sweetness 24/7. What type of sweetness? The sweetness of emotions. For example, for an 8-year-old, they would be very fond of their own mother and naturally would have sweet emotions toward them. But if it was a school bully or just someone they didn't like, they probably wouldn't have that same sweetness toward them. This is the exclusive nature of the mind I've been learning more about recently. I like this person, so I'm going to have nice, fond emotions toward them, but I dislike this person, so I won't have sweet emotions toward them. Even though that idea may be subject to many things, like you had this idea because you grew up in a certain way. You had certain parents, you had certain teachers, peers that taught you things, your genes, and many other things. And because of all of these ideas and memories, you separate the world into likes and dislikes, rights and wrongs. According to Sadhguru, all of human experience comes from within, and I can slowly see this more and more and more as I do more of my own meditations. So, sweetness happens within you, and so does hate. Some even say that when you have hate within you, it literally poisons your system. Some have even measured this and can say, yeah, if you hold negative emotions for long enough, it literally seems like there's poison in your blood.
There is substantial scientific evidence to show us today that if you remain angry for 5 minutes, you're literally poisoning yourself. Anger, resentment, hatred, jealousy, these are all poisons that you drink and you expect somebody else to die. Life does not work that way. You are drinking this poison because your life is an unconscious reaction to everything that happens around you. If you are a conscious response to every situation that occurs around you, you would be out of rage. If you are in rage, small things may happen your way. But if you're out of rage, the universe will work for you.
And there are even stories about people who have excluded their life into this and that, left and right. One of those stories goes like this. A nun who was searching for enlightenment made a statue of Buddha and covered it with a gold leaf. Wherever she went, she carried this golden Buddha with her. Years passed, and, still carrying her Buddha, the nun came to live in a small temple in a country where there were many Buddhas, each one with its own particular shrine. The nun wished to burn incense before her golden Buddha. Not liking the idea of the perfume straying to the others, she devised a funnel through which the smoke would ascend, only to her statue. This blackened the nose of the golden Buddha, making it especially ugly. Ironically, only wanting to help and preserve oneself ended up making the most beautiful statue look ugly. And I'm not even saying this is right or wrong. Unless you've done some inner work, self-preservation is pretty much in everyone. This just goes to show how people can separate life into this and that, and how that exclusion can easily bar you from experiencing sweetness 24/7. So, how is it possible to experience pleasure 24/7? You can't eat, drink, or indulge in bodily pleasures all day, every day, because there's a limit to how much activity you can do all the time. Some level of rest is needed. In the book Inner Engineering, Sadhguru says that there is a dimension of intelligence that is unsullied by memory, where no likes and dislikes exist. This dimension of intelligence is called chitta, and it's described as pure intelligence, unsullied by memory, the deepest, most fundamental dimension of the human mind. A person in touch with this dimension is said to have access to the source of creation. With this, that same 8-year-old in the beginning that would look at his mother with such fondness, he could look at every other thing with that same amount of fondness, because he's looking at everything without the sulliness, that's not a word, without being sullied by his memory. He could look at everything exactly the same way and maintain that sweetness all day, every day. Sadhguru conveys this point amazingly in this excerpt.
So, about willingness, because you said you're a volunteer organization, to be a volunteer. A volunteer means somebody who is doing something willingly, right? There's no other compulsion. There are no financial compulsions, there are no social compulsions, there is no something else. You want to do something willingly. So when you're a willing participant, right now, you're a volunteer. I'm asking all of you, right now, are you compelled to be here or are you here voluntarily? Oh, thank you. Because I've spoken to conscripted people also. I've spoken in the prisons, I've spoken in many places. So you're here willingly. You're doing something willingly is the fundamental of your joy, isn't it so? Hello? However simple or stupid or idiotic activity it is, I'm doing something willingly, makes a world of difference, isn't it so? Hello? Yes. The difference between heaven and hell is just this. You're doing something willingly, that's your heaven. You're doing something unwillingly, that's your hell. We have already taken on attitudes, what we like and what we don't like. I like this person, I don't like this person. Now with this person I will do things willingly, with this person I'll do things unwillingly. This may be two people, two aspects of life, two communities, two nations, two many things. This I will do willingly, this I do unwillingly. This means I've decided in my mind, this is good, this is bad. When I hear even on national news channels, good guys and bad guys, it just… once you have this kind of thing, you are going to be disastrous to the planet, it's just a question of time. The moment you decide, this is a good person, this is a bad person, this has gone deep into American society. No, there are no good people and bad people. Everybody is oscillating between the two. If you create a very pleasant, wonderful atmosphere, everybody behaves wonderfully. If you create an unpleasant atmosphere, a whole lot of people act nasty. Yes or no? There are joyful people and miserable people, but there are no good people and bad people.
That's big.
The moment we think we are good, we are entitled to destroy the bad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, we've been destroying a lot of people for a long time. Time to stop that. Because human beings are in different levels of experience and understanding, variety of people. Anybody who is not like you is obviously bad, isn't it? Isn't it so? Those who are not like me must be bad people. Because the basis of goodness and what you think is goodness is decided by you. No, you have no business to do that. Willing means this, I'm just willing. I'm 100% yes to life. I am not yes to this one, no to this one, no. I am just yes and yes to life. If you are 100% yes to life, you are a volunteer.
Oh, that's
You have become a willing life. You have become so willing that you have no will of your own. People ask me, Sadhguru, how do you operate with all these people? All kinds of horrible questions they're asking, they're doing this, they're doing that. I said, my life is not about them, it's about me. It's about how I am. It's about me. It doesn't matter how they are, that's their choice. But how I am is my choice, this is my way. No matter what they do, I'm like this. Because I have not given that freedom to anybody, that somebody can freak me, somebody can make me angry, somebody can make me happy, somebody can make me unhappy. These privileges I kept to myself. It's time you do that too. Because if somebody else can decide what can happen within you right now, isn't this the ultimate slavery? Huh? Isn't this? Someone else can decide what should happen within you. What happens around you, of course, so many people decide. What happens around us is not 100% ours. But what happens within me must be my making, isn't it? Right now, just about anybody can freak anybody because they're not volunteers, they're unwilling. Volunteering means you have no will of your own, you can do whatever is needed. You know, we are a volunteer organization, this means all kinds of people. Most of them are not qualified for the jobs that they're doing. And I cannot fire them because they're volunteers. On a daily basis, Sadhguru, I can't work with this person, she's so horrible, I can't do it. I tell them, see, in this world, this is the sort of people who exist, like this, like this, like this, like this is the kind of people there are. But if you want to work with ideal people, you must go to heaven. And today.
today.
But if you think what you're doing is very significant, you must learn to work with all these horrible people. This is how the world is. If you think what you're doing is very significant, you learn to work with all kinds of people. You will see horrible people will do wonderful things. Yes?
Yes, yes.
But if you want to work with ideal people, you won't find any. I haven't found one yet. All kinds of mixed bags.
Yes.
But if you are willing that you are not yes and no, yes to one, no to another, you're simply one big yes, you will find a way.
I love that. Thank you so much.
Sometimes I find myself randomly craving sweets like cinnamon rolls, Pop-Tarts, and cookies, and snickerdoodles. Oh my god, snickerdoodles, those are amazing. And while all of that is nice, and I do sometimes indulge in these very good tasting desserts, I'll opt for a sweetness that I can indulge in 24/7. Something sweeter than strawberry shortcake. The sweetness of emotion. As I do more and more yogic practices, I myself am starting to very slightly experience sweetness that just comes from within. And while it is very nice, it's really hard to maintain when the mind is always thinking, I like this, I don't like that, and it should be that way. If getting rid of my likes and dislikes mean I can experience this sweetness 24/7, I'm willing to do what it takes. It's just like Sadhguru says, don't fight your cravings for sweets. If you yourself turn sweet, sweets will lose their attraction.